Hello everyone, my name is Rania.
And my name is Sophia. We're going to be discussing the painting CC Love from 2021 by Stanley Whitney.
The first time my mom and I visited a new city together, we tried to plan almost every moment, following a specific itinerary to make the most of our travels. However, as we refused to embrace the new experiences that came our way, our days grew more stressful and restricted. In truth, we felt greater enjoyment during the moments when we allowed ourselves to simply observe art on street corners, savor treats from surprise vendors, and let the sunlight dance on our backs in a park. Nonetheless, we ensured we followed the correct directions and prioritized the museums and restaurants we wanted to visit. Ultimately, we remained organized, but also became more willing to go with the flow. Clearly, there is a fine line between spontaneity and planning ahead, a balance between disorder and order that manifested in our lovely trips together and also in everyday moments of life.
For me, this balance between order and disorder shows up in a different way. When I was younger, my mom often urged me to purge my old clothes and toys. Initially, I succumbed to the allure of the new, but as my stuffed animals and hairbows disappeared, the soul of my room also vanished, leaving behind angular and cold lines devoid of color. In order to achieve perfect order, I had erased my own history, trading my personality for a sterile grid that didn't know how to breathe. After a few days, my room would always return to the natural and what my mom calls inhabitable state.
Stanley Whitney's CC Love epitomizes a balance between order and disorder. While Whitney conforms to a standard grid method on the surface, a closer look reveals a slight slant in his lines. To complement the descending orientation of the squares, Whitney paints them in arbitrary, non-complementary colors, bordered by horizontal lines that likewise refuse to adhere to straight alignment. As viewers, we witness a swirling maze of imperfections contained within a restrictive structure, aching to break free, yet also respecting the limitations that cannot be fully discarded. We may notice the irregular drips of paint and wonder whether they are intentional or accidental on Whitney's part. Indeed, there is a high likelihood that Whitney included these as accidents at first, a testament to his potential spontaneity while completing the artwork. Therefore, these drips of paint possess a disorderly essence, denying the grid structure that underpins the artwork. Alternatively, they may signify Whitney's intention to achieve such a balance, shifting toward a new form of painting that combines ordered chaos with spontaneous structure. The very ambiguity of Whitney's vision allows the viewer to fully engage with the artwork and become immersed in its unique interplay of the abstract and the concrete.
Surprisingly, Whitney begins each piece within the same framework of an artistic dialogue. He initiates each conversation with a greeting, painting a horizontal band spanning the top of the canvas. From there, Whitney moves left to right, stacking spontaneous blocks of color that descend the painting. As Whitney remarks, it's like call and response. The paintings tell me what to do. This call and response is literal. For 3 decades and counting, Whitney has listened to the same Miles Davis jazz tracks each time he paints. Just as jazz, a syncopated and swingy music style, relies on structure to define a space for improvisation, the loosely stacked squares in CC Love provide the architecture for paint to perform. The colors don't sit still. They lean and dance together in a visual rhythm mimicking jazz performance. Whitney's motivation to challenge the grids is rooted in his upbringing in a Pennsylvania community silently separated by unseen socioeconomic and racial divides. In his first art class, he was, in addition to being the only African-American student, the only artist who used all the colors on the palette, in contrast to the other students who primarily chose realistic colors. Intimidated by such divides, Whitney hid the painting in his closet and never returned for more classes. Nonetheless, after high school, Whitney was drawn to art as a space for self-discovery hidden within unconditionally accepted notions of order. After his 1964 enrollment in the Columbus College of Art and Design, everything clicked for Whitney when he saw Cézanne's portrait of Victor Choquette. He was destined for life beyond the boxes. The inspiration for CC Love traces back to Whitney's 1966 transfer to Kansas City Art Institute and his subsequent pilgrimages to New York City. While he was moved by avant-garde artists at the time, it was the diverse voices of New York, the pulse of the city life, that defined his mature style.
Undoubtedly, New York acquires one of the most unique art scenes in the world, drawing on a multitude of cultures, philosophical movements, opinions, and perspectives. In a 2015 interview, Whitney stated that he identifies himself as a real New York City painter, revealing a desire to capture the authentic spirit of New York, which he claims does not conform to either simplicity or madness, but rather operates in the space between. Whitney embraces a contradiction of New York's artistic essence, evident in his use of the grid as a framework for contrasting hues, shapes, and lines. CC Love serves as an exceptional example of this balance, leaving enough space for the viewer to develop their own perspectives and responses, yet also stimulating them to embrace his vision. By incorporating the word love into the title, as well as the preceding dual repetition of C, Whitney indirectly prompts the viewer to experience a sense of fondness for the themes conveyed, whether mapped onto their own feelings toward the distinct New York essence or onto other concepts exuding a similar balance. For Whitney, CC Love provides a testament to his personal love for New York's balance between order and disorder. For him and many other artists, New York is a city that never shies away from the liberating off-kilter hues and arbitrary drips of paint, despite being built on a logical grid.
From CC Love, I realized that true growth isn't about clearing the clutter. It's about the revolutionary act of thriving within the structure. CC Love is a reminder that while the world constantly offers us structures, new schools, new careers, new expectations, you must never let the box determine the final word. Today, my dorm room is Whitney's living canvas, drawers stuffed with my favorite snacks and shelves lined with my favorite books and plants. What I call home is not merely a mess, nor a purely idiosyncratic method of madness. It is a vital balance between order and disorder, creativity and industry that keeps the world running today.
Personally, Whitney's vision is one of emotional relief, demonstrating that it is rationally possible to collectively embrace order and disorder, whether in daily life or in artistic traditions. Leaning into his vision, it is essential, both morally and artistically, to exhibit such a balance, to take advantage of the various attributes of human life that never fully eclipse nor embrace either counterpart. From Whitney's work, I am drawn back to my travels with my mother, evoking in me a new reflection of our past priorities as we walked the cobbled streets and reveled in the simple delights of an ancient mural or elaborate bookstore display. Like him, we learned to pursue the space in between, wherein we charted the spirit of New York City by conforming to neither structure nor spontaneity. In truth, the symbolism behind CC Love encourages all of us to navigate life with simplicity, proving that it is thoroughly possible to endeavor an enjoyable yet efficient existence. Thank you.
Thank you.